Yo, what's up? My name is RetroPat, and I've been playing video games since I was around 3 years old and have been on Steam since 2011. And if you grew up playing video games in the same era as me, you might remember this post from Valve when they launched free-to-play games for the very first time on Steam. When you're 13 to 15 years old, free-to-play games might be your only possible way to play any sort of video games at all. So when amazing MMOs like Spiral Knights, Forsaken Worlds, and Champions Online all became free-to-play, my little teenage brain basically exploded. I can't express how big of a deal this was for the time. But now, whether you're an old school gamer or a modern gamer, we have a whole new problem at our fingertips. We have way too many free-to-play games at our disposal. How do we play them all? How do we know which ones are good? How do we know which ones are a waste of time? As gamers age, I think it's something we all realize, the more valuable resource becomes our time rather than our wallets. And that's where I come in. The goal of this series is to sort through as many free-to-play games as possible, going through all the best ones and even some of the worst ones, and let you guys know whether they are worth your time. I'll be playing as many games as possible for at least 1 to 2 hours and giving my first impressions on the game, not a full review. This series is meant to give tons of different gamers of all varieties fresh options and games to go to for very little cost. And if you find this video helpful and it introduces you to a fun, new, exciting game to check out, make sure to like the video and subscribe to keep up to date with more videos covering other similar games. As well as, if you have a free-to-play game you want me to check out, let me know in the comments. I can't promise to get to all of them, but I would like to get to as many as possible. But today's game that we are jumping into and giving a shot is The Tale of Toast, a cutesy, cartoony MMO, which is by all intents and purposes a dead game. Now, people call a lot of things dead games. League of Legends, Omega Lol, dead game. Overwatch, Omega Lol, dead game. Rainbow Six Siege, Omega Lol, super dead game. And while most modern gamers use that as a way to express their dislike towards that game, Tale of Toast is actually a dead game. It had a 24-hour peak of online players at 3, and there's currently 1 player on right now as I'm playing, and I think that's me. The all-time peak for the game was 828 players, and that was 7.5 years ago. So why am I playing it? What's the point of a dead MMO? Well, this game has always looked so pretty to me, so beautiful, so intriguing. I always loved the art style. So I want to give it a fair shot and see if this dead game actually doesn't deserve to be dead. Sometimes things happen, bad development decisions, player problems, community issues, and sometimes through it all, there's a beautiful game just trying to shine through. Now, immediately in the character creation, I notice that there is something called the Wisp color and Wisp gender, so I can actually change around what my Wisp is. I have no idea what that entails in terms of gameplay, but I'm interested. I'm intrigued immediately as a new player. We're going to go ahead and jump into The Tale of Toast. Alright, you spawn in the recruitment camp and are met with a message. Welcome to The Tale of Toast. Please take a few seconds to read through some of the basics. If you wish to return to this guide, press F1. Alright, we have WASD simple movement with Q and E. You can actually throw around and slide around this UI, and I actually love the way that feels. They give you a basic explanation of NPCs and bankers and shops, typical MMO stuff. How to attack enemies. To attack them, you just right-click them and let the combat do itself, from my understanding. There are some spells and such you can click, though. I've heard that the combat is actually very similar to old-school RuneScape, which is what always interested me in this game as well. You can zoom out a lot further than I expected, or zoom in. Maybe it's just me, but I love this visual and this style of games. So you can actually use WASD movement. Ooh, when you move backwards, you're slow, though. That's an interesting mechanic. So it might be better to actually just use left click to move whenever possible. It seems much more faster and much more efficient. The Wisp also seems to be guiding my way. I wonder if this was a way to add in some sort of tutorial later on into the game's lifespan. MMOs are notorious for being difficult for new players to get into. But also, I love the UI. The fact that I can just go click the chat, it's super intuitive. I can go click the chat and drag it wherever I want to. I can even drag it off screen if I so choose. Well, at least you visually can, and then it pops back up. That's kind of nice, though, so you can't get it lost off of screen for new players. All right, but let's go talk to Durian, the recruitment officer. He's going to give us our first quest, I believe. Okay, Defenders of Asterio. Welcome to recruit. What was your name? I'm going to go ahead and skip all this dialogue. We don't care about quest lines here. What's our quest? Speak to Sergeant Thorne. Okay, so we're just running around, talking to people, meeting new people. Okay, first little problem. I'm trying to run back over here through this little area, and I can't really do so because this giant mountain is in the way. So if I try to click over here, look what happens. I wonder if you can you click on the map? That's my guess. It's probably going to be similar to old school RuneScape where you can click on the map to do that. Can you move the camera? You can. Okay. However, you move the... Oh my goodness. The moving of the camera is so severe, and you do it with arrow keys instead of WASD. Let me see if I can change my controls to be something more usable at all. Okay, to be fair, you actually can hold right click and do the same thing. Very, very similar to old school RuneScape. I did also rebind the keys to WASD to be able to move the camera, although the zippy speed of it is still pretty severe. I might be able to adjust that in my settings in time as well. Alright, the Wisp is trying to teach me to access your skills, etc. Click on the icon in the bottom right hand corner. We can see our skills over here with a K key, as well as other tons of different hotkeys. I don't have music turned off, by the way. There just is no music while wandering around the world, at least in this current section that I can hear. But after we leave that little recruitment area, we do kind of open off into a giant section of the world. And we have these green vines and copper deposit right in the middle of our path, so they are unmissable. I kind of wish these actually weren't here and it was just these two spawns, so it encourage and require the player to step off the path, even if just by a few steps, to go explore what might be skills in the MMO landscape. And in the first house in the village, we find the general store. We can go ahead and interact with him. And you hear some voice acting. Was not expecting that in a game like this. Good on them, honestly. We see that we can buy broccoli to heal, a green lantern, or a gray forest bunny for much more gold than the other items. This is a mount, a common ground mount that increases movement speed by 20%. Usually in old school MMOs like this, I could see movement speed and mounts being one of the most important mechanics. Okay, but once again, here we see a massive issue. Auto-pathing in MMOs like this, in left-click MMOs, has to be a requirement, at least in my personal opinion. I should be able to click here, and the character find its way to it. Instead, I have to click over here, close to the door, zoom in past the trees, and then be able to click through here properly, and there's just tons of stuff flying in front of me. The biggest problem so far I've noticed with this game is just little fundamental things, which is frustrating, but I'm hoping that the skill curve and leveling works out well. We're going to attack this forest bunny, who is extremely cute and extremely rotund. You double left click to pick up a bunny tooth, which will sell for, seems like around 1 gold. This seems like a game. Do you have to turn to the thing to fight it? Why can't I fight this rooster? You must be facing your target. Oh my goodness. I'm noticing the problems involved. This game has really weird old quirks that very, very old school MMOs would have, but would be considered quality of life changes. I really like old school MMOs, and I really like old school games. However, there is some stuff, like needing to face your target in that way, that just make the gameplay still very difficult and still very grindy, but just these things make it more obnoxious as opposed to just a fluid gameplay. I look for old school gameplay with good grinds and difficulty, but not having this insane lack of quality of life where I can't fight this chicken because I am not facing it directly. And maybe that would be different if you had proper WASD movement and could like actually maneuver yourself well, but that is not the case in this game. It's very difficult to manage your camera and where your character is facing. We see a flight master over here, similar to old school World of Warcraft, where you'd have to actually take a flight to get between locations in different major cities. We have no known collected flight paths. Alright, but after running around and getting stuck in a few buildings, we finally find Thorn, the sergeant. I also keep trying to click the characters and doesn't always let me talk to them. You have to click like the name or the little arrow up here, or click certain parts of them to be able to interact with them. Once again, just basic controls being wonky and unreliable. Like here I'm trying to interact with him, and it doesn't work. But eventually it does if you just keep spam clicking it. I don't know what's causing that to work, whereas other times it doesn't. But we are off to find a bandit camp, our first real quest. Alright, but where is this bandit camp? Do we have to just run around and try to find it ourselves? I even kind of like the idea of that if there is no quest marker or direct, location for you to just immediately go to. If we press M, we can actually open up our map, and we have to drag all over the place. I can't find a way to zoom out in this map. You can click and drag, but you can't actually zoom out. And that makes it really difficult to see where we're at, where we're supposed to be going, and just get a good view of the map. It makes the world seem really massive, but I can't actually tell if it's that massive because it's hard to get proper perspective. Once again, I do love the style though. That's the problem with this game, is that it has a lot of major core problems, fundamental issues that need to be solved for a game to function. It is technically in early access, but it's also been in early access for at least 5+ years, and the last update that was made to it was over 4 years ago. So it seems to be fully abandoned. I'm going to accept another quest to collect 10 bat bones. And here we can see a lot more typical MMO stuff. Someone lighting a fire, we see a blacksmith, we see a trader, we see a bank in here. There's tons of cool houses and options to go to. Tons of NPCs to meet and interact with. Also, for some reason, Hatsune Miku is here. And I think this might be the corpse of another player. We can see corpse of Dejaku killed by Raisin Cursed. I don't know if this is PvP or another NPC. I feel like this has got to be another player. You can dig up their grave. Okay, I'm just going to see this in live time and see what this does. Getting his ear, level 2 ear. I can't say that's something I've ever done before in another game, so a unique mechanic. I really hope at this point that grave robbing is a proper skill that you could XP train. That would be super interesting. And speaking of the skills, where are they? Here's our magic skills, but these aren't the skills I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. The thing that I love to see in every single RPG. Trade skills, alchemy, blacksmithing, carpentry, cooking, enchanting, leatherworking, tailoring, botany, fishing, mining, shearing, skinning, and woodcutting. We also do have a level up we can go ahead and use. We can go over to our stats by pressing this and or L and go ahead and upgrade things like our strength. Let's go ahead and do that. And then we do have to upgrade our skills as well. We have 4 points to spend. I have no idea which of these are good or what they really do. But I'm just going to focus on melee combat today, as it will be a bit simpler and allow me to really focus on the other gameplay elements. Just fucking kidding. You actually start with a bow in this game, which I just equipped in my inventory, so we are absolutely going to go into archery instead. Hell yeah. Now, I did upgrade a skill called Hemorrhage a fair bit, so I went ahead and actually dragged this down to your hotkey bar. And once again, I'm kind of being harsh on this game's base fundamentals. However, what it nails is the UI. The UI is actually ridiculously intuitive, and one of the best UIs I've weirdly seen in maybe any MMO. So the TLDR is the movement and camera controls are awkward and honestly just kind of suck, but the UI and other mechanics seem really, really well fleshed out. Why am I not attacking him properly from range? I must be facing my target, of course. Can you actually properly kite in this game as well? Do you have to like turn to shoot your arrow? That's kind of a cool mechanic though with the facing target situation. Now, the lack of music is a little unsettling, and I don't like that every time I attack a character with my bow and arrow, I just run up to them at melee range. That kind of defeats a massive point of what ranged combat is in MMOs. It's supposed to be balanced around that benefit. The custom sound effects in this game are nothing short of fucking legendary. Listen to this bunny. That little pew noise, that just sounds like a person just making all the custom sound effects themselves with their mouth into a microphone. And I absolutely fucking adore that. I want to love this game, and I kind of do adore this game, but it has so many problems. I'm going to try to work on finding the bandit camp, but I'm definitely running into a problem with that. It feels really, really difficult. I don't know where it might be. I'm guessing over here. The problem is running in this game and movement is extremely slow. So if I find out that I'm going the wrong way all of a sudden, it's going to cost me so much time to run all the way back to the town. We do find forest bats, though, which are what we need for our quest. So I'm going to go ahead and try to interact with these guys and kill a few of them. Beautiful. There's the use of our first hemorrhage ability usage. It does denote it as a quest item as well, which is nice. We see another forest bat. I'm noticing these forest bats aren't quite bats. I guess they are, but are they just really chunky bats? Oh my god, the sprites in this game. How could you not? Once again, I want to love this game. This is fucking adorable. Okay, I am actually dying, though, I will say. It's actually really hard to... Okay, really close. Almost died. Not even close. At 5 HP out of 68. And I think if I just sit here, my HP will regenerate, but I don't know how fast. Went from 7 to 9. These things are aggressive. I like that hovering over an NPC does tell you very clearly whether it's aggressive or not. That's a really nice little tool tip for your players. Look at this sheep. Are you kidding me? This is like the Stardew Valley of MMOs. As well as the sheeps are also voiced by someone seemingly just buying in the microphone. This game oozes style. It oozes everything I want in a cutesy little MMO like this that I could grind for hours and hours. How is this dead? Why is this dead? There's gotta be another reason. I'm gonna go ahead and gather some cabbage though and see if that can help me restore some HP. Can you continuously gather cabbage? Yes, you can. Okay. I might be here. Oh, I need to not die to this bat though is the next step, and trying to face him once again, causing major problems. Can I eat mid-combat? Let me try to... I just linked the cabbage in chat. I control-clicked to link in chat. I put it in chat instead of eating it. Whoops. You died. Revive at the nearest graveyard. Is it going to be similar to World of Warcraft where... What happens? What's the punishment for dying? Do I have a dead body that I have to go to pick stuff up? I died again. This bat was level 6. I didn't pay attention. That was my mistake. I don't know if I'm losing anything for dying, though. So I'm just going to keep fighting, I guess. I am out of mana, though, and I'm dead again. Let me test this. I'm currently at 383 XP. In a lot of old school games, you'll lose XP or gold when dying. I probably should check my gold count as well. I don't think I have any gold. I did lose a little XP. I went from 383 to 364. Okay, so you do lose a little bit of XP when you die. That's good to know. I probably should stop dying for content. Okay, I've now spawned to the nearest graveyard, and I have no idea where I'm at. I think I want to make it over to this and hope that this is the bandit camp, but I might need to grind on a bunch of mobs low level near the town before I can actually traverse to this. This is also aggressive. I'm going to have to traverse through a bunch of these aggressive mobs and hopefully not draw their aggro. You also, unfortunately, just don't have a whole lot of time to adjust to the mob's movement as they kind of spawn in front of you. Let's just look here and see what happens. I pick up these shards. What do these do? I'm going to try to pick one of these up and see what that gives me. Gathering wind shard. Little sound effect. Wind shard crafting material uncommon. Okay, I love these little gathering elements. I'm going to try to keybind my cabbage and see if that allows me to eat it this time while in combat. We make our way over here, and these are the bandits, but they are level 7. I am currently, I think, level 3, so I think the game wants to encourage you to battle bats and other things to eventually be able to take this on. I actually really like this style of old school level progression. It's really harsh at first. You can't do the first main task for kind of a little bit, but I like that. It means you're going to have to earn every single little thing in this game. I am starting to lose to these level 4 bats, though, and you can't eat in combat is something I find out. I don't know if I can kite in any way either, and I'm once again dead. And the problem is, the first graveyard is right around level 6 bats, so it's really difficult for me to get back to safety to start grinding on the low-level mobs. Alright, but thankfully the aggro range is pretty generous, and I actually can dodge these guys pretty well. And honestly, after figuring out where the graveyard is, where the bandit camp is, and how long it takes you to run between everything, I kind of like it. Yes, it's very far. Yes, movement speed is probably going to be a massive part of this game, but they're teaching you that early on. And I think this is the right amount, the correct amount of early game MMO grind. And I don't know if this game is just dead because a lot of people don't want that grind nowadays. A lot of people don't want to come home from their 9-to-5 job and then have to wait as their character runs across this little greeny, grassy environment. I personally love that and I enjoy that, but it's not for everybody. And that's something I definitely acknowledge. I almost kind of feel like this game is weirdly perfect for me. It's exactly to my tastes. But then I have to ask myself, if it's a dead MMO, even if it's the perfect game for me, is it worth playing? And that becomes the difficult part. How do you revive a dead MMO? How do you get people to start playing again? How do you reignite the economy from scratch? You have to have basically hundreds of players all at once online. A group of friends just isn't going to do it, and you yourself aren't really going to be able to do it. It takes a village. Or, often in online spaces, a content creator. A real content creator, not myself. Although, I think after playing for about an hour or two, I will say I will encourage you guys to check out Tale of Toast if it is specifically a game that looks fun to you, and fits your playstyle, and fits your genre, and fits your interest in games. But you also might need to understand this might not be an MMO you can play for hundreds of hours. It might be an MMO you can only play for 10 hours, if not less. Which is not usually a selling point in these grindy, slow MMOs. The whole point you play these grindy, slow MMOs is because you can get to that end game and become such a powerful character and player. You deal with the slowness to reach the depth. If this game is slowness, but then no depth, what's the point? And the point is just a fun afternoon. I think it's also important to note if you go check the mailbox, you actually get a letter from your mom in-game. I'm so proud of you for joining the program. It's so wonderful to see you help protect the people of Asteria. Here are some berries. I hope they aren't too smushed by the time they get to you. And they are jammed. It's berry jam. They were extremely smushed. Stay safe and be sure to eat plenty of toast. This game is just so adorable. And I'm just sitting here sad that it's not more successful. I'm sitting here bummed that it doesn't have an active player base. I also just found out there's jumping in this game just like classic WoW, and now I'll be doing that whenever I travel, wherever I go, permanently. There is a cute little patch of cabbage over here near the first part of the trail as well, which they encourage you to pick for your healing process. This one's even magic cabbage. I don't know if that will heal me more or what that will entail. You have to like double click in some weird ways sometimes. Let's see what this puts in my inventory. Ah, so it's cabbage to heal HP and magic cabbage restores mana. That's cute, man. All right, but I'm going to sit here and grind mobs on a rainy day until I can take on the bats more properly and hopefully, eventually, the bandit camp. I usually only play games in this series for an hour or two, but I don't feel like I would feel accomplished enough and be able to move on from this game without at least the bandit camp slain, even if it might take multiple hours just for that beginning mission. Because that's the beauty in these old school MMOs. It really makes you feel like you did something and accomplished something when you do achieve a goal, even if it's the first quest. Alright, after a little bit in combat though, I did eventually discover that you can actually use your right click to properly turn to your opponent when in combat. That's the biggest annoying factor is when you start a fight like this, your opponent will almost always run behind you or find some way to try to make it so it's awkward for you to fight back. You almost always have to turn in some way. So being able to right click and control your camera like that and turn properly as opposed to having to move around to do it is way easier. We defeat one more bat and get another fang and another bat bone for our quest. We got 3 out of 10 done. But that bat did a lot of damage to me. I'm at 60 HP, so I can either eat a cabbage or just chill for a little bit. But I have to regain my HP in some way before I'm healthy enough to fight. This is a very slow, steady, and grindy old school experience. Something that I really appreciate. Also, this game has weather and rain effects, which is really cute. And the sounds and the ambiance definitely get kicked up a massive notch with the rain impacted in. I missed 2 shots on this bat, and that's what killed me. That's really unfortunate. There is some RNG when it comes to missed shots, and just because I missed 2 shots there, I died. I died again. I think if I spent enough time in the first town picking enough cabbage and magic cabbage, I might actually be good. And I think this was a hasty error from my end by not spending enough time picking up resources as a beginner early game player. In short, I'm being punished because skill issue. But now, I have 6 out of 10 bat bones, and I'd really like to try to get the other 4 before I head back to the village. The problem is, I spawn around these level 6 bats, and they are much more difficult for me to fight than the level 4s and level 5s. And the other ones are already decently difficult. If I open up with a hemorrhage, it gives me at least a chance, but then I have to hit my shots. Like, look at this, not miss too many. I might just be dead again. I'm like, not even attacking. We get a crit, a lucky crit. For some, like, I'm just dead again. For some reason, you just don't attack back sometimes. Dude, these fights feel frustrating. Ooh, and off in the distance is this. It's a rare spawn. Aggressive rare spawn, Mr. Nibbles. I mean, I've got to try to defeat him, right? He's only level 4. Surely that actually should be doable. I just need to make sure I'm healed up first. All right, I'm full HP. I have enough mana for 1 hemorrhage. I kind of want to wait for enough mana for 2, but that would be 70 mana. I would be here for quite a while. But you know what? I think if I wait for that 70 mana on the auto regeneration, I think I'll 1000% be able to defeat Mr. Nibbles. So I think it's worth it. All right, we're finally there. We're at 70 mana exactly. It's time to take on Mr. Nibbles. Come on, Mr. Nibbles. Show me what you got. Says I'm out of range. Let me walk in range. We pierced him. We got a nice hemorrhage off. He's attacking back. Let's see how much damage he does in 1 shot. A lot of damage in 1 shot. I need to stay alive until my other hemorrhage comes back. And he attacked me while I'm running. Yes, he did. Mr. Nibbles destroyed me. Fuck, this game is brutal. Treasure chest level 7. Can I open this? What does this mean? Is it going to try to kill me if I try to open it? Opening chest. There's little treasure chests around the world. 39 gold. That's awesome. That's a really cute, cool little discovery. Okay, but I'm 2 bat bones away from being able to complete the quest, so I'm going to try to make my way back to the main village. I'm going to try to kill at least 2 more bats on the way there. Hopefully level 4s only. Everything else is just much too difficult for me to take on. Picking up some cabbage here while I can. Gonna attack this forest bat here in a quick sec. It is aggressive, so... But once again, the range is so generous. I feel like they almost never target you. There we go. Another bat defeated. We only need 1 more bone left. We actually just see some cool extra little info in the top corner or the top middle of the screen. Threat 100% 1.1 meters. This game telling you your threat level implies there are like group raids that you can do, which is really, really interesting. And then in the chat box, we can see you lost 5% of your accumulated XP for this level. So it seems like you lose 5% XP per level. You lost 59 XP. Oh, wow, versus 20, 61. I think the closer you are to a level up, the more XP you lose, which is pretty brutal, but it encourages you to actually play a bit tighter and more careful when you're closer to leveling up and play a bit more risky when you're further away from it, which is kind of interesting. I don't mind that. Now, we have our 10 bat bones. I'm going to try to make it back to the main village as soon as possible and not die to Mr. Nibbles this time. We're going to do that, and we're also going to pick a ton of cabbage when we have a chance. Both normal and magic cabbage. I want to test something. If I click off over in this direction, will I actually run all the way there automatically? If I just click right here, for example, you can see the little green indicator off in the, like, just barely in that corner. It's working so far. I haven't clicked again in about 10 seconds or so. Yeah, as long as you don't get stuck, it seems like I'm going to make it. I think I clicked right around this little middle dirt patch. And here we are, back in the original town. Just 1 click to walk all the way. As long as you don't get stuck on a tree, that works out. But let's go turn in this Batbone quest. Complete. That'll get us some XP as well as some gold, I believe. We're almost level 5, so I want to make sure I don't die. Be very, very careful with my levels right now. I'm also trying to accept way more quests. Just get as many as possible while I'm out there. A Tale of Rabbits. I missed the Forest Bunny quest. I've been killing those nonstop. That's an easy one to pick up. Okay, and I'm discovering that this would have been a much easier way for me to level up in this early game part. I also have the animal leather quest, so every single bunny that I kill is working me towards 2 quests at once. A Tale of Rabbits as well as animal leather. I could sit here and say that I kind of wish what NPCs had what quests was a little more distinguished and visible in the game, but I also kind of feel like this was a skill issue. I mean, the guy was right here, the last NPC you see as you leave town. This game is doing a lot of things right when it comes to classic MMO design. The problem is that it's a classic MMO released in a modern day atmosphere where a lot of people are moving on from these games. And there is level 5 and an achievement for it on Steam. How many people have reached level 5 in Tale of Toast? Let's see, only 14% of the players. It just seems to me as a classic problem that a lot of MMOs have is people giving up before really giving it a chance. Alright, but as you can see in the right hand corner of the screen, I have both quests done, 10 animal leather and 10 forest bunnies. Now keep in mind, the bandits are level 7 over in the bandit camp, so I want to gain a fair bit more XP before I can actually take multiple of them on all at the same time and back to back. It's going to be a lot. I have to get a lot more resources, a lot more levels. I'd like to be at least level 10 or so before I take on the bandit camp. We'll get only 20 XP, but we get a pet. What? You get a pet this early in the game and can summon it? I'm going to equip it over here and see how that works. Do I need to? Yeah. Summon pet Lich Queen. Are you kidding me? This is amazing. I'm just stunned at how much I love this game from a design standpoint. This is sick. We'll turn in our animal leather quest as well and get about 184 XP. My inventory is also getting quite full, so I do want to sell as much of this as possible back to a shop. We can buy it back in the future if I so need, but I don't know what a lot of this does. I'm just going to go ahead and try to sell whatever I can. I can't sell players' ears, though. I do have a fair bit of armor that I can equip, though, that I didn't even realize I had. So let's try to equip whatever we can. That requires level 7. We'll keep that for an upgrade in the future. All right, after selling enough stuff, we now have 113 gold. You can see your gold count down here in the bottom right-hand corner. And that's what I noticed for the first time, the Crumb Shop. And this is where I'm a little scared. If we open up the Crumb Shop, please don't show me pay-to-win items in this beautiful, cutesy game. So obviously you can buy crumbs with real-life money and currency. That makes sense. That's typical in most MMOs, and that would be totally okay if it's all just visual stuff and not actual gameplay impacts, which seems to mostly be what a lot of this is. Bravo, Tale of Toast. You keep continuing to impress me. These are all just cosmetic trinkets. So far, the only real negative of the game is just the wonky clicks and, okay, as you can see here, the wonky movements and clicks definitely don't line up, aren't intuitive, and are just downright not well implemented. If I try to interact with this person, I can't do so. I have to walk to them first and then interact, and then I might misclick and walk a little more, and it just is a really wonky experience. Which sucks, because that's like the only bad part. That and the fact that there's no players that actually play this game. Everything else of this reeks of a good video game and a well-designed old-school MMO. Also, when I take more time to read my quest log, I can actually see I'm not meant to go and take on the bandit camp quite yet. I'm supposed to find evidence of where it is in the forest, which I've already found it, and I'm supposed to speak to the villagers to see what they know. So somebody here is going to have a map to the bandit camp. And you can even see this person having dialogue appear over their head. So let's go try to talk to this person. And to be fair, I don't really think we can. Let's go talk to the village guard, maybe. It's hard to tell who we can even talk to. And this is one of those situations where that wonky movement is causing problems once again. But let's read exactly what she's saying because it is a hint. I was resting near a large tree in the forest when I saw a couple of bandits arguing. I saw one of them drop something as I quietly snuck away. I bet you that's the bandit map we're looking for. We have to stand around in town and hopefully see her talk about it. That's really cute world building, even if it's not the most pragmatic thing, and I think that sums up a lot of these old school MMOs. Not always the most pragmatic, but beautiful when you do figure it out. Alright, but before I get too excited and adventure too far from town once again, I'm gonna go pick cabbage for like 20 minutes. Alright, this is my first time I've seen a fat cabbage spawn. Fat magic cabbage with a PH. I'm excited to harvest this and see if this is a totally different item. And look at that wonkiness of, once again, the movement and stuff is just so weird. Are these actually... Is it just gonna be a bigger patch? Oh, I'm harvesting 2 at once. 24, 26. That's cool. There's just so many cute little mechanics like this. So if I harvest, it'll be 1. Yeah, that's 1 each. There's so many cute little mechanics like this throughout the Tale of Toast that I just keep finding, even as a new player. It's very clear there was a lot of passion and love put into this game. And after a lot of harvesting, I'm at 65 normal cabbage, which should be plenty of healing for the time being. I'm also going to get some magic cabbage, though. Okay, I now have 65 cabbage and 65 magic cabbage. This should be plenty to grind what I need for the bandit camp. I should be fearless now. Okay, maybe not too fearless, because you can still not eat in battle. So if I take on a boss or a monster that I just can't kill in one fight, one-on-one, mano-y-mano, I'm still going to get eviscerated. I have to be able to heal between each fight to really get the advantage of all the farming I just did. To be fair, I do have more skill points, which do unlock new abilities and just more base damage. It's honestly what I'm just going for is just increasing my dexterity. I'm assuming that increases my base damage with my bow that I'm doing. At least I'm hoping that's the case. Yeah, I was increasing my melee damage. Let's see. Range damage increased by 8 when I click up my strength. Dexterity, range damage increased by 25. Okay, we have plenty of stats. We're going to up our dexterity. We have 2 more points. I'm just going to go hard into this. I do want to go into some vitality, though. My max health is suffering a little bit, or even almost our defense. Armor increased. Armor might be what we need. We're going to go for that and hope that helps. The progression feels good, though. I'm not using all the resources to my disposal. I feel way more powerful. Like, I've only been playing for, I think, around 2 hours at this point now, and I feel so much more powerful than how I felt previously, and it's been really cool to really feel the progression because you are so weak early on. I'm going to be so honest. I want to take on Mr. Nibbles so bad. I don't think I'm quite ready yet. I'm going to try to kill a few more mobs. The problem is I'd have to get like a full level up to actually be in it. Oh my god, is that lag? What was that? To be in a situation. Did I just attract 2 mobs at once? I haven't done that yet. I didn't even know that was possible, that you could actually stack multiple mobs at once like that. Once again, the controls are just so wonky. I don't know if my pet actually does anything, my summon as well. They kind of just sit there. Can I make them attack, or is it just a visual thing? Either way, it's still cool. Honestly, with how difficult fighting those mobs was, I don't think I'm ready to take on Mr. Nibbles. I think it's still way too powerful for me, so I'm just going to play it safe and wait. I really don't want to lose my XP at this point. I think I have to get to level 6 before I can really take that on. What is this? Farmhand Walnut. Why is he a ghost? Can I talk to him? What happened to the poor fella? He's gone. He moved over here. This game has so many strange mysteries going on that I just can't pinpoint fully. And here's the one-eyed bandit that we've been chasing down. He has 221 HP. There's these other bandits, but there's also the one-eyed bandit. He's the one we're supposed to be finding. I'm going to look around here to see if I can find that map that NPC was talking about, but it's probably further away. It probably wouldn't be directly next to the camp itself, I would guess. All right, so right now I get 56 experience whenever I kill one of these level 4, I believe, mushrooms. I'm currently level 5. If I want to get enough XP to get to the next level, I need about 1,400, it seems. Okay, so that's actually not too bad. Checking the XP on a quick calculator, that's 25 monsters killed, whether that's bats or the mushrooms. That's honestly very, very doable. But that is only for the next level, and I want to get multiple more levels before I can actually take on all the bandits. Ideally level 10, but that's going to be so many hours of grinding. Once again, I'm literally only level 5 right now. And I bet you, based on old school MMO XP grinds, it's going to become exponential. And I'm going to have to gain way more XP per level to be able to get to the next one. I also just saw a server announcement. The Blue River race has ended. I don't know what that means, but it's kind of cute. There's still automatic little tournaments or something like that happening, even with a game that is totally dead. Once again, I think I'm the only player online in the entire world right now. I did get an upgraded bow from a drop, so that's cool. Going from 1 to 2 damage per shot up to 3 to 5 damage per shot. All right, but a full inventory has me heading back to town to go clear things out, sell some stuff, make some more gold.
Yeah?
And I'm really enjoying this dumb little gameplay loop of go kill monsters, go loot stuff, and then sell to shops. It's really simple, it's really basic, it's really classic, and it works. I'm also going to go ahead and put a bunch of untradeable stuff or stuff that I can't sell to the marts over in the bank, including this little piece of armor that I can actually upgrade to in the future once I reach level 7. So now my inventory is nice and clean, and I just have my cabbage, my pet, and whatever armor I can wear. Now, the amount of armor slots is a little confusing, don't get me wrong, but I think what this represents are vanity slots. I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing that these little purpled out slots are vanity slots where you can put equipment if you like the way it looks, but don't want the effects. And then only these slots right here are the actual armor, which is pretty simple. Helmet, I think this is gloves, helmet, bracers, cape, top, weapon, side weapon, shield, okay, crossbow or bow, dual wield, ring slot, and then pants, and these are boots. But I'm at the point where I'm just going to go grind for many, many hours and hopefully see you guys back after a ton of progress. And you know what? I understand that not everybody's going to want to watch this part of the video, and I get that. If you're waiting for my final conclusions or my review of Tale of Toast, here it is. I think this game is a 10 out of 10 if it's the perfect game for you, like it is for me, or a straight up 0 out of 10 if it's not the game for you. This game is going to be way too slow for many people. It's going to be way too monotonous, way too mundane. This is not going to be a lot of people's cup of tea, okay? This is a 10 out of 10 or a 0 out of 10 depending on who you are. So I'm going to average it out to a 5 out of 10. That is my final rating for Tale of Toast. But I will not feel complete with this game until I go accomplish defeating of the bandit camp. All right, I am going to be honest. I did Google where to find this because you are supposed to find the map on the way to the bandits hideout first. So here is the mysterious paper. I will show you guys yourself on how to get here. It's this little tree. If you head down the, I believe, east path, it's down to the lake. You want to head down to Lock Tree, this little lake area right here. And if you head right here, it should be the closest tree or one of the closest trees to the trail as well as to the lake itself. It's also at coordinates 436, 299 if that helps you as well. It's a decent way to look for it using the map. Let's go turn that in for some XP though. All right, after a bit of stumbling around, I finally found the person I'm supposed to actually turn this quest back into. Once again, kind of difficult to go find where I'm supposed to actually go for a lot of these quests, but that's okay. Defeat the one-eyed bandit and retrieve the treasure. Collect one fake treasure. Okay, this is the quest that I want to get done. This will be considered my Tale of Toast journey of victory. All right, I just reached level 6. I think it's finally time to take on Mr. Nibbles once more. You can actually still see my grave, or at least you could a second ago. My grave was still over here. You could see Petrowski slain by Mr. Nibbles. It's time to claim back and try to have some vengeance, recover myself, Let's jump into it. I'm going to try to do a specific thing here. I'm going to attack him first and then go for the hemorrhage after, because it does reset your auto attack animation. So you'll see what I mean here in a quick sec. Let's go for the first attack. Double click. Out of range, of course. We go for the first attack, then we go for the hemorrhage, then we go for our other ability that we just unlocked, and we just obliterated Mr. Nibbles before he could even get like 1 or 2 attacks off to me. He got absolutely eviscerated. Gray Forest. Do we get a pet? Do we get a Gray Forest Bunny pet? I'm sorry, Lich Queen, but you are definitely getting replaced by a Forest Bunny pet if that's something. It's the first mount! Level 10 required, but we got a mount, boys. Oh, that's going to be so sick when we can equip that. Also, we got a bucket helmet. Oh, our first helmet. We have more armor, gear, and drip. That's really cool. I was just trying to defeat that boss for like the achievement of it, but we also got actually good gear. That was not something I was expecting. Wait a minute. I think there's someone else here. PvP Tyler says, hello. Hello. I'm going to try to respond to the first player I've seen. I'm going to type, hello, I'm a new player. Is anyone else online? All right. I might be in over my head, but I want to try to take on some of the bandits. Also, Tyler responded, hello, I am online. If need help, will glad to. Before I take on some of these bandits, I wonder if I could strike up a conversation with Tyler. How long have you been playing? All right, I'm going to try to take on one of the bandits while I wait for Tyler to respond. I'm going to try to aggro him from afar and pull him out. What I'm afraid of is the other bandits targeting me. I can't even... What's happening? Can I not even attack him? I don't know what's going on there. Anyways, Tyler responds, I've been on/off sometime. So it seems like he's an old school player would be my guess. Taking breaks every now and again. I've been playing again for the past few weeks. Two other players have been around. That's how you know a game is a small community, man. He knows only 2 other players other than himself. Just made it to max level. Oh, congrats. What is the max level? And does this game have a lot of endgame content? He said, thank you, level 64. The game seems so good so far. Such a great classic MMO. And I'm just shocked. Oh my god, the bandit's attacking me, I think. Okay, oh wait, wait, we gotta lock in. Tyler, you gotta wait for a sec. Oh my god, I'm panicking. Okay, I don't know what happened. I was trying to kill him before. But whatever, that works, I guess. Let me taper off over here while I talk to Tyler. He says, okay, he's honest. This is an honest... You don't see this a whole lot. I asked, does the game have a lot of endgame content? Not really. 3 world bosses... R64 and 1 dungeon. Sadly, rather abandoned game, but you can do it quite a lot solo. So I was trying to see. Shocked. I'm shocked to see the game as dead as it is, sadly. I can kill normal mobs in last dungeon, and I have rather bad gear for my level. Okay, so he's saying things are very doable from a solo extent, which is really cool to hear. In dead, it's very crucial in a dead MMO. Yeah, and Tyler seems to have the same experience. Yeah, frowny face. The hardest one is a raid dungeon with 2 angels, but don't think this can be soloed. At the moment, I'm hoping 2 others will show up and will stay long enough to get level 48 and 35. Okay, he wants people to be able to do the endgame content. Poor Tyler has been sitting here sticking it out when no one else in the world will. He even offers, if you want, I can craft you gear and give you some hints to make the game a bit easier, and I'm going to let him know that I want to actually have it from a pretty fresh, blind perspective as I get killed by another bandit. Oh no, this is actually... Okay, dude, I got a really lucky crit on my hemorrhage there that made that fight plausible. I'm trying to fight through these bandits slowly, but I can only take them one by one. I have to heal up after each time, and I can't heal for a bit after. I have to wait like 10 seconds or so after combat. I don't know how to get them to aggro me properly as well. I'm trying to aggro them or attack them, but it's not really working well. Tyler's being super kind, saying, yeah, it's not the worst game. Not nearly as grindy as other MMOs. Just, if you need help, ask. What a nice, what a welcoming end game player, the one that exists in this game. I do want to go ahead and try to aggro another bandit, but there we go. Okay. I feel like I have to, properly draw him out and then just fight him like this. I'm going to interrupt a shot with my abilities. There we go. Okay, if I use both abilities aggressively, I can take them out guaranteed, but then I have to heal up after each time to get the proper mana needed Is this just a bandit? This is just a normal banda. So there's bandits, and this guy is a banda. He has 830 HP comparatively to their 232 for reference. I just want to get to this guy, the one-eyed bandit. If I can draw him out without... Oh, but this one just respawned. I'm going to try to fight this one. Yeah, we can probably fight him, I think. We have our... Yep, okay, that's easy peasy. Not too bad. I want to heal up. If I can just wait for him to walk to a good position, it would make all of this so much easier. But this bandit is, like, coming out of the camp. It's really hard to, like, aggro the ones you need. You know, that's the difficulty I'm finding, is actually clearing out the ones that I need. I'm going to go ahead and take this guy on, though. I don't know how fast... It's hard to tell how fast they respawn. I'm going to take him out, so he's gone. I'm trying to wait so I can clear enough to hopefully get to this guy, and I don't want to have to fight this guy. This guy just respawned again, though. Let's see if I can aggro him. Take him out. I don't have enough mana for anything for the most part, but I think I can still... Okay, I actually am still able to fight him with only one poison attack. I can take on one bandit decently easily. Oh, please don't miss again. Okay, that was... I don't know, that was close. Look at my HP. I really need to heal up here, and my mana. This is cute, man. This is, like, nerve-wracking. How can a game that looked this cute feel so intense? Like, I'm really nervous every single fight that I take on. Also, Tyler giving me another huge hint. If you want to log out, make sure to log out in a city because you do get rested XP. That is very similar to World of Warcraft, or at least from Classic WoW from the little bit I've played. I don't think this is going to work, but I honestly just want to try whatever I can. I'm going to try to, like, be over here and see if I can aggro the one-eyed bandit from across the wood planks. I don't think this is going to be possible. I think line of sight is going to be important, but if I could aggro him from over here and he runs all the way around, that would be the ideal situation. The super hard part about this so far definitely just seems to be clearing all the bandits to actually be able to get to him. That's the most difficult part of this quest. Fighting him wouldn't be so bad. I'm going to go ahead and go aggro another bandit, and the problem is, once again, their respawn time is just so high. They're so fast at respawning. I'm farming them for XP, which is fantastic, so I am still making progress even if they keep respawning like that, but it's just very slow and slim. He's so far. Tyler also says that PvP being enabled gives noticeable XP boost, 10 or 15%. I can actually go click this icon and earn boosted experience. Enabling PvP will grant you a 25% boosted experience. Once level 16 and above, you risk losing 10% experience. Yeah, and apparently he says that no one really PvPs anyway. They're just trying to keep new players around, so that's really sweet. I've played a lot of MMOs or a lot of games where the veteran players will absolutely pick on the new players and PK or PvP the hell out of them. That happened to me when I dared to stream EVE Online one time as a new player. The bandits are spawning way too quick, so I think, like, actually trying to just get to the boss is, like, super out of the option, at least for the time being. The main thing I'm hoping for is just trying to get XP at this point. But sometimes the bandit aggro range is also really weird. Like, I tried getting close to that guy and he wouldn't aggro, but this guy did aggro. When I got close to him, I need to use both my abilities or I'm going to die. I need to face him properly. This is tough to, like, get in proper range. I kind of want to go just see if I could drag him. Like, I might actually be able to kill enough of them quick enough if I play this really, really properly. And once again, this reminds me a lot of Classic WoW. One of the biggest skills in Classic WoW is properly dragging the enemies. I kind of want to go, oh, grab him now. This might be my chance. He's so close. This might be my chance. Can I? Oh, I got him. I got him. I got him. Yes! That's it! That's the fucking bandit done, dude! I snagged him in the right perfect spot. Let me pick these up, please. I need to pick these up for the quest. It's so difficult to actually, like... Once again, the movement and stuff is wonky. Did I get the thing? One-eyed bandit patch. Okay. I need buried... Ooh, wait, there's another guy coming. I don't want to die really quick. Wait. Oh, this might be bad, actually. In a bit of a sticky situation. I have no mana for the most part. I think he's low HP, though. I should be good. Okay. Let me heal up really quick. I want to pick this up. Okay. Yeah, the riddle. I gotta pick this up. I have to. Even if I... Why is it so hard to pick up? Why is it so wonky? Where am I supposed to... Did I get it? Okay. That was... It wasn't working at certain angles for... It was like in the mount... Like in the little hillside. Let me give Tyler another quick thank you for being so helpful with that PvP tip. I definitely think that XP helped tremendously. I'm going to heal up over by this rock really quickly whenever I can and probably just head back. I need to collect treasure, though, actually. Fake treasure. I bet you it's in here. Oh, no. Don't tell me the fake treasure is somewhere inside of here. The one-eyed bandit respawned. As you can see over in this little right drop down, defeat the one-eyed bandit and retrieve the stolen treasure. 0 for 1 fate treasure recovered. So it is not over. I am not finished. There's something else that I have to do. Okay, from a quick Google search, Wikipedia says that the treasure is north of the camp. So I should be able to head north and hopefully find it, I'm assuming, next to or near a tree. Have I already been close over in this area and found something similar before? I know I did find that one little treasure chest before. Was that fake treasure? It's honestly really amazing. I'm honestly impressed that I can Google stuff and actually find resources for this game. That is often not the case in these very niche MMOs. I've been running around north for quite a bit and I still can't find it. I'm going to keep looking, but I might need to look for another resource. There is no image, no extra information on the Wikipedia. Oh! Buried treasure. I don't know if I have a shovel for this. Do I need a shovel for this? Let's see if I can just gathering buried treasure. Did I find it naturally? Let's see. I don't think anything. That counted. 1 out of 1 fate treasure collected. Okay, that must have been it, I guess. I just lucked into that, to be honest. Stuck on a tree as per usual. Let us head back to town and complete this amazing quest. This was so much fun, dude. I can't believe how much I enjoyed Tale of Toast and how sadly dead and unpopular this is. When poor gamers like Tyler are over here saying, like, I just hope that one day we can do a dungeon. There's nothing more commendable than someone just trying to play the game that they love and have other people experience that as well. I'm so glad that I spent the extra time today to put some love into Tale of Toast, because there's clearly a lot of love put into it from the developers, at least at one point, even if they aren't active still. And there's a little bit of love, or a lot of love, from a little bit of people still left in the community. Once again, I vehemently recommend you check out Tale of Toast. I think this game could be perfect for some specific people, myself included. I might try to get a group of friends and actually continue playing this game if I have any spare time, but that's the problem. I already play one MMO full time. I don't know if I can take on another, and that's, I guess, the sad part of Tale of Toast. If I wasn't actively involved in another project, I actually know that this is absolutely a game I would have been obsessed with as a teenager. It just came a little too late, unfortunately, for me. But I'm going to turn in my quest over to Thorn. We slayed the abandoned camp. We can complete it, get our gold and our experience, and then we'll be met with a new quest, which I will not be taking on today, but possibly another day, maybe in the distant future. I wish I had more time as an adult to play beautiful games like this, but I'm married. I do YouTube full time on another channel. I have this passion project. I have only so much time for so many things, and I have so many interests in this world, and I love that I love so many games, and I love so many things, and Magic the Gathering, and hanging out with friends, and going to, you know, breweries, restaurants. Like, there's so many cool things to do in this world, and it makes me a little bit sad that I don't have time for Tale of Toast, but I hope some of you do, and I encourage you to go write your own tale and experience it for yourself. I think this game is arguably like it's such a beautiful, unique, I don't want to say masterpieces, I just haven't played enough hours, but it could be, man. It really, really could be. I'm really impressed. This game is something special, and it gives me a certain vibe and aesthetic that things like classic WoW do, things like beta or alpha Minecraft do, or even things like old school RuneScape. This is a very special game that I think is underappreciated. It should at least have a 1,000 player community that is actively playing. That makes sense in my eyes. But life is unfair, and it is what it is. I hope that Tale of Toast can get a little more appreciation over the following years. But thank you guys so much for watching until the end of the video. If you did, I can't believe it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was entertaining. I hope it was a fun experience and a journey, as for me, as it was for you. Enjoy my dog flapping her little ears in the background super cutely. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Dislike if not. Like it for the dance moves of my character. Subscribe for videos, hopefully every week. My goal is to do a video on Is It Worth It or Best Free-to-Play Game at least once a week. So if you want to encourage me to do that, subscribing is the best way to do so. Other than that, leave comments on free-to-play games you want to see, and I will see you guys later. Have a great time. Play games you enjoy. Play some free-to-play games and spend your time wisely. Peace, Reno. Hey, what's up? Retro Pat here, and I want to say a quick big thank you to everybody whose name is listed here, because it means you went above and beyond and supported me via the Patreon, which allows me to put more time, effort, and resources into this channel. Thank you so much, and have a great day.